Anyway, each new year, at the request of many of my colleagues, I try to make this annual report a little shorter than it was the previous year. And this year, after multiple revisions and over the last 10 hours, I think I may have done it. So for those of you who are keeping score, start your clocks. Each new year, I also like to hold myself accountable by reminding myself, as well as council, of the things that 5 years ago I hoped together we would try to accomplish if I was to become the mayor. First, I want my hometown to be managed more efficiently, more productively, and more professionally. And over the last 4 years, with your cooperation, we have been reorganizing and modifying our staffing needs to meet today's needs. These changes haven't been easy. In lieu of having supervisors over each department, we created operations managers to manage and guide multiple departments. And by empowering and trusting the people that they manage, we really can do and are doing more with less. My management team today is less than half the size of what it used to be here. Those changes and other cutbacks in staffing have been mostly accomplished through attrition, resulting in huge savings each year to the city of Jackson, and have allowed us to fund new services and meet new demands with less overall staff. One of these new services, for example, is our Geographical Information System, or we call it GIS. It continues to develop as we add more of our assets into the system, making all of our utility-related work more efficient. Also, by creating a position that can focus on grant writing and projects, we have secured over $11 million in grant funding to implement various infrastructure upgrades. To support existing business and promote future growth and investment, the city partners with, and I serve on the board of, the Jackson County Economic Development Partnership. Secondly, 5 years ago, I wanted the city to continue providing great service to our citizens, as they did, but I also wanted our utility rates to be more competitive. And to that end, the last time any utility rates were increased in Jackson was over 4 years ago. The rate cuts that council made in 2020 and the lack of any new increases have made our city utility rates very competitive with other area providers. Our utility departments, including our electric department, our water, our wastewater, and the utility office, all of these departments continue to provide incredibly reliable service to our customers and respond very quickly to any problems. We will continue improving efficiency by making in-house upgrades with our own personnel. Sewer line repairs and replacements have resulted in a noticeable reduction in stormwater entering our treatment plant. Our service departments, including street and alley, garbage, the mechanics garage, and the cemetery, all continue to provide great service. Our street and alley department continued upgrading streets, curbs, and sidewalks last year, and we plan to do even more of that with our in-house construction crews this year. And even though Rumpke has raised the landfill dumping fees substantially, we still have not raised the garbage fees we charge our citizens. The cemetery staff there has kept that 62 acres looking the best it has looked in years, while handling 75 burials. Our mechanics in the garage continue maintaining over 120 pieces of equipment, vehicles, and work trucks. Other services. The auditor's office continues to receive outstanding audit reports from the state. Our police department continues to make our town safer and reports a 50% reduction in overdose deaths. 0 homes broken into in the last year, and 0 robberies last year. And this year we're very close, we hope, to adding 3 desperately needed cruisers to our fleet that have been ordered for over 2 years. We also plan to implement a body cam program this year. Our volunteer fire department continues to do an outstanding job serving our community. We now have 13 members, and in 2023 reported 321 call-outs. My third goal 5 years ago was simply to clean up and fix up our town. Last year, our efforts to clean up included dealing with over 400 cases of ordinance violations, such as high weeds and trash, junk vehicles, and illegal dumping. And we have partnered with the Land Bank to complete 11 building demolitions last year. We have 9 more pending grant approval for this year. We resurfaced the parking and basketball courts at Hillcrest Park and added striping for pickleball. We constructed a new boat ramp and kayak launch at Hammertown Lake. That work is substantially complete, but not yet put into service. We paved over another 8 miles of 40 different city streets and partnered with ODOT to finally pave East Broadway Street. Our plan, as I've said before, is to repair and pave every street in town. But that's 52 miles of streets, plus the parks, plus the parking lots. It's going to take 8 to 10 years to get them all. And then by then it will likely be time to start over. We've replaced almost 3 miles of curbs in the past year, many sidewalks, and working with the tree commission, we planted 51 new trees. And we plan to plant over 100 this year. These efforts all over town, in every neighborhood, are bringing back community pride to our little city. So as I begin my 5th year as mayor, I recommit to these same goals. And we're going to continue to do all the good things that we've been doing the last 4 years. But we need to do more. This November, I plan to have the city income tax back on the ballot for renewal. City income tax provided us over $4.2 million in revenue in 2023. Remember, most of this income comes from people who live outside the city. And much of that tax, if it wasn't collected here, would just go to another city. We must continue the income tax so we can continue making all these improvements. We have been, and we will continue to, use the income tax exactly like we said we would. Up to half the tax revenue will continue to be used to fund the police department. This will provide almost all of the over $2 million police budget this year. I would like to revise the tax language as we go back to the ballot to allow the use of the tax to be used for police and fire department. The remaining tax revenue is and will continue to be used to fund infrastructure repair and replacement. The income tax allowed us to budget for over $2 million worth of additional infrastructure work for this year. Most of which, once again, will be street paving, curbs and sidewalks, water and sewer line work. Without the income tax, these projects would just not be possible. Even the grant-funded projects usually need income tax money to meet the match funds required. And even with all of these improvements that we've accomplished so far, we're really just getting a good start addressing the vast needs of the city. Most of our city buildings, as I've mentioned before, are in need of repairs or replacement also, and we need to start addressing them. We've applied for multiple sources of grant funding to help repair or replace the memorial building and plan to advance the planning for that this year. Also, in the next couple of years, we will be planning to improve or replace other buildings that are long overdue in our other departments. We've received 2 different grants to help us try to mitigate flooding along Salt Lick Creek and our city parks. Grants through FEMA and ODNR's AMLR funds funding totaling $2.4 million. All of our parks except Hillcrest are on the banks of the Salt Lick Creek or its tributaries. We want to continue improving and expanding outdoors There are opportunities for outdoor recreation at these parks, but first we need to mitigate the frequency and severity of flooding in these parks and these neighborhoods. Other things on the agenda for this year include we're looking at going to city-owned trash cans for our garbage service. We are in the process of updating our 40-year-old zoning regulations. We are pre-planning for the repainting of the Apple Tower. We are considering a couple different suppliers for upgrading some of our outdated computer systems, and we expect to complete this year a complete overhaul of the city's website. We're also adding Parks and Recreation Director to facilitate more and better access to our pool and recreational facilities. There's a lot of things going on in our city and a lot of things yet to do. And I want to conclude with these thoughts. Our purpose here is to guide and govern the process of providing services to our citizens. That's why we're here. Secondly, the money that we spend here to provide these services comes from them in the form of taxes and utility revenues. So we need to be good stewards of those dollars and spend it wisely and efficiently. The state of our city is good. It's very good. We've got a lot of momentum going in the right direction. We just need to keep it going. And in closing, I just want to say, I enjoy being your mayor, but I'm just the mayor. Everyone at this table is part of our team, and working together, we will continue to improve our great little city. Thank you to each of you guys.